Hey, review time. We got the Sennheiser Momentums. Spent quite a bit of time with these guys and have established that they are definitely a traveler's headphone. They are not for, well, they could be for easy listening, sitting at home hanging out, but there are better headphones for that, I'm thinking. This is a very nice case. I really like the case. I said in my unboxing that it's a lot smaller than I imagined. However, it could be smaller. This is the size of a full-size headphone case, and although it is very beefy, I feel like I could throw these across the room and nothing's going to happen to them. So there's something to be said for that as well. But I can see why people are saying that the case is too big. So here they are, just a great presentation for a headphone. It's very neutral colors, the neutral brown. Very lightweight stuff. These things come in at 190 grams. In the unboxing, I was just blown away, but they are 190 grams. They just feel like a little feather. A little more of the design. This metal is strong, but not strong to the point of the v-modas. I wouldn't really trust throwing this thing across the room like I would a v-moda. Not that I've ever tried that, but it's so light that it's flimsy almost. So I think they've done a great job at keeping it light because, the old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's obviously not going to apply to these guys. These are plastic housings, so probably not the greatest thing to drop them. It's probably going to leave a mark at least if it does hit on the housings for the ear cups. This is leather up here on the headband. Got some little padding down in here. The adjustments are right here. This is a gripe of some people that I notice is these are actually friction based, these adjustments, and I am actually curious myself how many times this is going to last bringing it in and out of the case, because these things have to be retracted to get them back in the case. I've got to so my listening is about halfway down, a little more than halfway down on each side is where I'm comfortable. But so right there, they don't fit back in this case. Well, it looks like they do, but these cups are supposed to be up here, so these have got to be recessed back to where their home spot is. Now they fit. So that's a sticking point, is maybe long-term durability. Then again, nobody's had any trouble yet, so there's something to be said for that as well. How about comfort? Comfort, I noticed after about an hour and a half, these ear cups got pretty tough on my head. I don't know if it's just the tension. I know the small nature of the ear cups has something to do with it. These are classified as circumaural. That blew me away that Sennheiser classifies them as circumaural. I have maybe a little above average ears. They're not huge, but I was not expecting these ear cups to be that small when I pulled them out of the box. I was blown away, and I was thinking, well, this is really plush, this material, this leather, so I was thinking maybe I'll be fine. It's just going to patch right to my head and be fine. But it does. It feels really comfortable, but after about an hour and a half, I have noticed pressure on my ears. And I noticed about half of my ear is inside here, and this is very soft fabric inside here, but about half of my ear is in there and half of it's out of there, so I think that had something to do with it as well, where it just was pressing on my ear so hard that it was hurting over that period of time. So yeah, the comfort is there, but I definitely, for the money, there's probably better headphones comfort wise. I think Sennheiser's moving towards the more luxury line, trying to attack those business travelers, and that's where they're going with this line. They're not necessarily the best headphone for us guys that are trying to sit in our living room or bedroom listening to music. There's better sets for that. But a couple other things on design are the cables inside the pouch here. I wish they would include some Velcro straps or something to secure these cables with, because they like to just kind of come out everywhere whenever you bring this out. Now, cables. So, the source side is actually 3.5 millimeter, regular stereo 3.5 millimeter cable. The headphone side is 2.5, so not the most, well, not as readily available. It's readily available, but it's you should know that there's 3.5 to 2.5, and the headphone side is a 2.5. It's also got a little lock on it, and that just goes in the headphone port, which is right here. See if I can give you a decent look at it. And there's two sets of, or there's two notches. There's one on this side, and then one on the other side. So you can put it in on either one, and you just put the notch facing out towards the headphone, and it just snaps in there. And then turn it clockwise, boom, it's in there. The first time I did this, I put it in there and forgot to turn it, and I actually didn't have audio in the right ear. I thought the right driver was DOA, I believe they call it. So I was a little worried, but I quickly figured that out. So yeah, make sure you twist that sucker in clockwise if you get these. Yeah, and the cable. Obviously, once again, these are made for traveling. These thin cables make me nervous. I haven't had a problem with this one yet, but they just always make me nervous. I enjoy the time guys like v-moda take in making quality cables that have good shielding. The only problem with those is obviously the microphonics of rubbing on clothing. But I would much prefer to have those beefy cables over these thin ones. And the length is good, but you know, they figure you're driving it from your phone, so you're never really going to be that far away. Once again, getting back to where it does what it needs to for this particular headphone. All right, let's talk about sound quality. These things are absolutely amazing when it comes to general audio. The highs, the mids, the lows, everything's there. It's a wonderful presentation of music. I have not ran into one song that sounded bad on my iPhone. It just does a wonderful job. It has a very healthy mid bass. These are not neutral phones by any means. It's much favored toward the mid bass in general, and it actually, I feel like it's cut off at sub bass. I feel like they just whacked it off right there, because I'm somewhat of a bass head, and I really enjoy my sub bass, but I like it to be tight. That's why I had high hopes for these, because everybody talked about how tight the bass is and how good, smooth it sounded. It's all mid bass though. I mean, that's why it's so tight. It doesn't have the punch. When you get those songs on that have really lows and you would normally feel the music, it isn't there. It cuts it before it gets to you. So that's something to be said. It's definitely not for you bass heads out there if you're looking for your next bass set, but it is for easy listeners. I mean, you can pick this thing up and listen for hours. It sounds so good. I love headphones. All audio critiquing aside, that you can just put on and listen to music. Regardless of what album you throw at it, it's just going to play it and it's going to sound good. Most people would call that warm, but I just like headphones that sound good. They're not analytical headphones by any means. They have a purpose, and I think they do that really well. They are on the bright side. They're definitely not dark sounding. However, there's certain points in songs where you have the shrill, maybe with some headphones like my Bayer Dynamics, that I just know when it's coming, and I know it might get a little high pitched and shrill for me. That doesn't happen with these. It's like it feels like it's almost an intelligent headphone where it just cuts it off, because the highs are crystal clear, and you could swear that this note is just going to kill you, but it doesn't. So that's something very positive that these do very well. A couple other things to note on sound quality. This has a very low impedance. It's 18 ohms, and it's very easily driven by my iPhone. I have the volume at maybe 70%, and that's as far as you want to go with it. So yeah, they did a great job at making it portable in the aspect where you really don't need to carry an amp. I did amp it with my FiO E11, and from what I can tell, it made very little difference. I mean, that amp didn't. And let me also say that I cannot listen to my M50s without this amp. So that's saying something that you don't even need the amp to enjoy these to their full potential. That's a lot of headphones can't say that. Just gorgeous sounding. I can't say enough about the sound. I can talk all night about it. Oh, something else about the sound. A lot of people were having problems with the iPhone adapter. They were saying that the sound quality was subpar using this cable, so I was a little worried about that as well. However, I have not found that to be the case. This guy has performed just the same as the regular cable, and I have not noticed any degraded audio quality from it. In fact, this is a very high quality cable. This is all metal right here. The remote works very well, and it's got this on the source end. It's got the pivoting jack that allows you to pivot it, so if you have it in your pocket or whatnot, you can pivot it out to whatever you desire, and that's the metal housing as well. Just pretty top-notch stuff that Sennheiser has put out. I think that's about it. It's if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave me a comment, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching the review on the Sennheiser Momentums.